been watching this Diddy trial, man, and I think Diddy gonna walk. Because they ain't really got no solid evidence of him with this Rico shit. There's no real like concrete evidence of what he's charged for. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't think he was trying to intimidate the jewelry. Well, what I'm saying, jewelry. The jury, my bad. I just woke up. I don't think he was trying to intimidate the jury. I think he was just trying to get them on his side, because I think he knows he's winning, even though some people want him to lose and stuff. But I think he gonna walk, man. Like I said, man, they don't really care about if a non-white person get hurt or a non-white woman get hurt. Cassie's colored. They don't really care about her like that. You feel what I'm saying? He beat her up and stuff like that. They don't care about that. He gonna end up walking, man, because he ain't got no evidence. You gotta have receipts out here, bro. Just like he claimed Diddy, Diddy is a gay or a suspect. It could be true. I won't put it past him. But there's no real solid evidence that he's gay. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about receipts, man. Just like they say, oh, there's a God out there in the sky. I'm like, well, can you prove it? And, oh, the Bible is this. The Bible is what? No. I need more evidence that a God exists, because a book is not enough evidence, man. Just a Bible or a book or something like that, not enough evidence. So until you come through with some concrete evidence of what your claim is, I don't believe it no more. Before, I used to think that Diddy was gay because all the people they were making videos about him, talking about that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Making videos about, Diddy being this, being that, he's suspect. And I started to believe it. But then I started thinking, like, in my head, like, wait a minute, I ain't seen no solid proof or evidence that he is like that. Now, if he's one of them closet dudes, okay, that could be true. But if you ain't got no solid evidence that Diddy is suspect or he gay, I ain't gonna believe it until I see it. Until I see some concrete evidence. I see, like, Diddy kissing another man on camera. I was okay, that's real evidence. This guy definitely is gay. You know what I'm saying? But until then, man, if you ain't got no receipts of what your claim is, I ain't gonna believe it until I see real concrete evidence. And Diddy, with this Rico shit, there's no real solid concrete evidence that there's a Rico. First of all, bro, a lot of his money came from music. I don't think he needed to do that. You hear what I'm saying? I don't think he needed to get money from, like, Rico, because a Rico is an organization that's basically getting money from the public in evil ways. You feel what I'm saying? In illegal ways. You feel what I mean? That's a RICO charge, where you pushing drugs and stuff like that, and you're making money off the drugs in the community, and it's a group of motherfuckers doing that shit. That's a RICO charge. You feel what I'm saying? That's what they got El Chapo for, you know? He was a huge drug pen, bro. He killed a bunch of people, you know, and all the other stuff. So they put him away for life because he's pushing drugs into the world. You feel what I'm saying? And, you know, that's a RICO case. I don't think Diddy needs to sell any drugs or something like that to be making money, because he was already making money with the Ciroc and making money off of other stuff, man. He wasn't pushing no RICO like that's for like broke people who are trying to come up. Diddy was making money other ways. And first of all, you gotta have the profit. You know, you feel what I'm saying? You gotta the profit. Where's the profit at? How much did he make during this RICO shit? Where's the profit? There is no profit. You haven't found no evidence. So, yeah, Diddy definitely gonna walk. Most likely. I'd be surprised if he don't. But first of all, like I said, the evidence is weak, you know, against him. So, likely he gonna walk. That's just the way it is. Like I said, man, even with the Bible and all this God stuff, this religion stuff, they ain't got no real solid evidence that one God exists. Hey, what's up, man? Like I said, you gotta have some type of like evidence of your claims, man. You can't be going around blurting out, oh, this is true, this is true. Okay, well, where's the receipts? You know, that's all I want to see. You know, that's all I want to see is receipts. I don't want to hear nobody talking or this and that. You feel what I'm saying? I want to see receipts. You know, you ain't got no receipts, I don't want to hear your claims. You feel me? I don't want to hear no claims. So, you know, that's why I stopped believing in this God stuff, bro. Because I need to see some real evidence that he truly exists. You know, and the stories don't match up. You know, the stories don't match up, bro. You say that Noah and the ark happened, but I'm like, that's something that's, I mean, that's God right there, or the God in the Bible, demonstrating his power, you know, to cause a flood because the people were acting bad on the earth. There's people acting bad right now on the earth, and there's no flood. You see what I'm saying? There's no flood. There's no fire coming from the sky. There's no Armageddon and all the other stuff that they've made up to put fear into people. Oh, God will destroy you. Armageddon is right around the corner. yeah? Okay. Let me ask you something. You know, did the flood work? That's what I'm saying. I'm asking you real quick. Did the flood work? Okay, well, if the flood didn't work, then it'll never work. The simple fucking goddamn answer to the question is no. Because we still got bad people on the earth. So that's what I'm saying, bro. This shit don't make no sense, bro. Make it make sense and I'll believe it. Make this shit make sense. The God, he's a mighty powerful God. I'm like, well, you know, he's a mighty powerful God, and he's powerful, and this and that, and this and this. Well, if he's powerful, he would have been destroyed Satan the devil by now, and he let Satan the devil live and exist. If he's not living, he's existing. You know, you let him exist. You know, so I'm like, okay, yeah, somebody that turned against you, somebody that fucking that's causing all the bad stuff going on Earth, and you letting people suffer and all these tsunamis and earthquakes and all the other stuff, people dying, and you know, like, nah, man, you know, nah, it's not right. I don't believe it, man. I stopped believing in God a long time ago. All the God stuff that people were talking, stopped believing. Once I started seeing the stories, how they didn't make sense to me, you know, and how the Jehovah's Witnesses, you know, them motherfuckers are the most false religion on the planet Earth. And they take that shit seriously. I'm like, God damn, bro. I feel bad for some of them Jehovah's Witnesses. Once they find out that those teachings are so goddamn ancient and old, you know, they're gonna be pissed off. They're trapped inside that goddamn organization, bro, or that cult. A lot of them motherfuckers are trapped in that cult, bro. You're trapped inside a cult, you know, and you're praying to something that don't talk back to you. You don't even know if that thing up there or if that God up there exists, man. You're praying and praying like, man, can you really hear God talking to you? Yeah, in my head. No, I'm telling you right in the open. Like, can you really hear that God upstairs where everybody else can hear it too? Not just you. You know what I'm saying? You know, other than that, you're just insane. You know, Lord have mercy, all that other stuff, bro. When I look at some of these Bible stories, man, of God helping the Israelites fight in battle, I'm like, where was God when black people were slaves? You know, for 300 years, 400 years. You know what I'm saying? You know, for 300 or 400 years, man, black people were slaves, man. And God didn't come to our rescue, bro. You know, the civil rights movement or the Civil War and technology came to our rescue. You feel what I'm saying? You know, like, stop, bro. Stop with all the false prophecies and stuff that they've been woofing for centuries, bro. Nah, they've been woofing that shit for centuries. We ain't talking about years. We talking about centuries. Hundreds of years. Hundreds. You know, thousands. They've been woofing that shit. The Bible was invented 2,000 years ago. Humanity is way older than that. Humanity is 350,000 years old. You know what I'm saying? So the stuff is It's fake, man. You know, I know this homeless female. She was living in a church on the side of the. There was a little shack that the church let her live in, and she helped around the church and stuff like that. And then for some reason, just recently, maybe like a couple of months ago, they gave her a eviction notice. Get out of our shack. We don't want you here anymore. I'm like, what? You're supposed to be with God, man. You're supposed to be letting her stay inside that shack as long as she's helping in the church. You know, and they even told her like that they were gonna give her a place to live one day, and that shit, that day never came. You know, she's still in the same situation. You know, there's people out here that need food, clothing, housing. You know what I'm saying? And none of that has came to help anybody. All the praying and all the other stuff, like, man, prayer is not a magic pill that's gonna help all of your problems go away. Prayer is not gonna help you get millions of dollars. You feel what I'm saying? You know, that's why I say, forget about that praying stuff, bro. It's all about your actions, man. That praying ain't gonna do nothing. And pray. Just go ahead and pray. Nah, fuck all that. I prayed for a long time. Back when I was religious, that didn't help my life. I didn't see nothing grow. I didn't see a magical house appear or money appear into my bank account. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know that prayer don't work. Because you can pray all you want to, but your situation ain't gonna change unless you change. And then your situation is gonna change. Other than that, if you don't change, all the praying in the world is not gonna help. You might make your situation worse just praying. How many dudes can't find girlfriends or wives? Just go ahead and pray. Yeah, God's gonna give you a girlfriend. He's gonna give you a wife. Go ahead and pray. Man, you can pray every single day. That girl won't come knocking at your door, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of these Bible thumpers, they think that God worked through people. God put thoughts in people's heads, and you know, God make people think of you and shit like that. It's like, man, like God got like some strings on you or something like that, and he control your movements and stuff, and he control your thoughts. Think about Hellcat. You see, he been out there for a while. He ain't had a girlfriend in a while. Go ahead and go knock on his door, go meet him real quick, and then yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Like God gonna send you a girlfriend of your liking. Fuck out of here, bro. I said it before, man. That God is no match for like Tinder and Bumble and Chad, you know, and Tyrone. You know, that's not, you feel what I'm saying? No match for Chad and Tyrone and Tinder. You know, because God's supposed to give you a wife, right? Since he's an old, mighty, powerful God, he's supposed to give you a girlfriend or a wife. Man, that's not gonna help. All the praying and stuff like that to a guy that's pretty much helpless when it comes to like real life in society. You know what I'm saying? Humans got all the power down here, bro. The government, the police, they got the power, bro. They're more powerful than that God up in the sky, bro. Because if they was gonna lock you up for 30 years, you couldn't do nothing about it. You and your God can't do nothing about that. He's powerless, bro. That God in the sky, powerless. But before in the Bible, he was powerful. He was making manna come out of the sky. He was feeding people with like 12 loaves of bread and a bunch of fish until everybody was all full. He fed hundreds of people with only 12 loaves of bread and some fish. Where did he get the rest of the food from? It just started appearing out of nowhere. Did he really walk on water? But yeah, he got killed by a mere mortal, a motherfucker who was like us. Because when you think about gods, right? When you think about spirits, these things can't be killed, right? How are you going to Jesus down here and have him get killed, man? You know, even if Jesus didn't even if he did get killed on the cross, even if he didn't get killed on the cross, he would have died of old age anyway. He was mortal, right, when he came down here. But yet he still had the powers of a superhuman, or he still had the powers of an angel, right? By walking on water, turning water into wine, and getting touched and healing people. Come on, bro. If somebody like that really existed, he would have been like ruling. He would have been like, he wouldn't have been no carpenter, nigga. He would have been ruling down here. He would have had an army of motherfuckers. You wouldn't be able to just walk up and just talk to him like that. You feel what I'm saying? Either that, or they'll be trying to use him for a weapon against other enemies and stuff. Like, Jesus, you gonna roll with us or we gonna kill you. Like, nah, man, I think something as powerful as they talking about Jesus and stuff like that, and him walking on water and turning water into wine, I think a being like that will be very hard to kill. You won't be able to kill him like that. Matter of fact, you won't be able to kill him at all because he's a superhuman or he's a spirit. You feel what I'm saying? So he doesn't bleed. You feel what I'm saying? He's beyond us. He's over us, right? A superhuman being like that. Like Jesus and God himself, right? These things cannot be killed. A spirit can't be killed. So that's why I say that story kind of don't make no sense. I'm like, wait a minute, like they hung Jesus on the cross, but yeah, Jesus is supposed to be a spirit, and he still had his powers because only a superhuman or something that's supernatural can walk on water, man, and feed people with only 12 loaves of bread and some fish. I forgot how much fish he had, but it was very little. He had very little. He fed everybody until everybody was full. Basically, food just kept on appearing out of nowhere, and he kept feeding people. Boy, a lot of that stuff don't make no sense in today's time, man. If somebody was like that, bro, we would have to investigate that shit. Be like, what the wow? This nigga is walking on water? Man, let me see that, bro. That's something new. That's something crazy. We need to see that for ourselves. What's really going on in these streets? What's really going on? You know, a nigga feeding, you know, hundreds of people with only 12 loaves of bread and some fish. And fucking 12 loaves of fish. Like, man, that's amazing. Like, bro, something like that would be guarded. Especially a human being or something. He wasn't even human, bro. Like, when you think about like God and Jesus, they're not human. They're not like us. You feel what I'm saying? It's so-called got like magical powers. You feel what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm gonna end this live, man. Just wanted to make this quick live, man. I'll see y'all on the next one before I work out. I'll make a workout live. Peace, man. I'm out.